Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's been a little while since I've made a cooking video, and honestly it's just because they don't get a lot of traction, but I wanted to do this one specifically. So I was watching Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. We do love that show. My wife and I watch it all the time. And they went to a place in Sacramento, California called Dad's Restaurant, I believe. And there they make what they call Dad's Burger. So this is my copycat version of Dad's Burger. There's a few different ingredients that I'm gonna be using and then adding some stuff as well to accommodate people's diets and this and that and the other, and really just because that's the way I wanna make it. Super excited to bake these though. And again, these are my copycat versions of Dad's Burgers. I've already made the Chipotle mayonnaise, and they don't actually make a Chipotle mayonnaise. They do make mayonnaise, and they use, man, like an adobo chili or something like that. I went ahead and just made a Chipotle mayonnaise. I didn't make my own mayonnaise from scratch, which is something that they do at Dad's Restaurant. They make it from scratch with like roasted garlic, eggs, roasted the oil from the roasted garlic because they roast their garlic in a pot of oil, and like I said, egg yolk, salt and pepper, and a couple other ingredients, and then like that special like chili powder. I don't think it's adobo. You'll have to just watch the episode. But I went ahead and made mine, and I made it before I thought about actually filming this. And so what I have in here is about about a cup of mayonnaise. I have some of this chili Nuevo Mexican, so it's like hot New Mexico chili powder. I actually just used fresh Chipotle chili peppers and then dumped a bunch of the adobo sauce in here as well, and then just diced up my my Chipotle chilies. I added about a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, about a teaspoon of seasonal, about a teaspoon of onion powder, about a tablespoon of coarse ground black pepper, and then just mixed all that up. Oh, and also some roasted garlic paste, which I don't have out here, but if you've watched any of my other cooking videos, that roasted garlic paste and the chunky garlic paste is awesome stuff to cook with, especially like when you're making sauces and things like that, because you don't necessarily want like the sharpness of fresh garlic, say, in a sauce. It's okay for some things, but for this, where I'm just gonna spread it directly on a bun, I just wanted to use the roasted garlic paste to get that roasted garlic flavor, kind of like what they use at the restaurant. I'm gonna be topping my burger with some Heinz 57 because I do like a little bit of tang with that to go along with the spiciness, because this is, I have a feeling, is gonna be super spicy. And then what I am using today is 80-20 ground beef. You guys can use whatever you want, 90-10, 75-15, 83, whatever. But I like a lot more fat content in my burgers. I'm also making smash burgers for my kids because they won't eat some of the stuff that's going into these burgers. And so, yeah, they absolutely love it. In here, I have already taken the liberty of dicing a full pound of thick cut hickory smoked bacon. Definitely use the thick cut bacon in my opinion. You're gonna put this on a hot ass grill and get a nice sear and crust with the bacon in combination with Gorgonzola cheese or blue cheese. I'm gonna make two different variations of it, with Gorgonzola not being as potent as blue cheese. They just use straight blue cheese. And I think that they also use like a thinner cut bacon. I could be wrong about that. I'll just have to watch the episode again. But like I said, I'm gonna be making a couple different versions of this with blue cheese, Gorgonzola, and then some homemade sliced pickles on the top of mine on a toasted bun. But let me clear all this stuff off because, like I said, I already made the mayonnaise before I thought about filming this, and put some of the stuff away, and I'll show you what I will be doing for the burgers. I have these square parchment paper pieces that you can find at like your local restaurant store or restaurant supply store or whatever, that I will be using my burger press on. But we'll get to that in just a second. Let me clear all this stuff off, and I'll be back. All right, so I cleared off some space so I can work. I don't know if I said this, and if I did say it the first time around, and I apologize that it's duplicative, but I had a red onion out here and some jalapenos, so I'm gonna do some fresh sliced red onion on here because I want some of that texture, like the crunch from the red onion. I was gonna grill it, but I think I'm gonna do fresh. And then I also had some jalapenos on here that I am gonna grill. I'm just gonna wash those off and slice them into wheels or circles or whatever you guys want to call it. And I am gonna grill those and put those on the burgers. That's something that Dad's restaurant doesn't do. I believe that the only toppings besides the mayonnaise is lettuce and tomato. Again, I'll have to go back and watch the episode. But again, this is my, I guess, spin copycat on Dad's burger. So basically what you want to do is, so you definitely want to use burger rings. And I just, again, found these at my local local restaurant supply store, along with the parchment paper. And like I mentioned before, feel free to use whatever type of burger ground you want, 90-10, 80-20, so on and so forth. Basically what you want to do is you want to put down a layer of your bacon, and I try not to go too thick because you still have to add blue cheese and burger on top of that. And so I try not to go too thick. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But you also want to make sure that it's thin enough that when you throw it on your Blackstone or griddle or whatever you decide to use to make these, that that one you can get a crust on it, but you're also gonna weight it down with like a bacon press to help get that crust, because the blue cheese is gonna melt into the bacon and it's gonna basically form like a cheese bacon skirt, and the burger will be cooking in this. And yeah, like I said, you really want to make sure that the majority of the bacon's cooked. You know, you might have like a little bit, but for the most part, the bacon's gonna render out. And then, well, I'll just show you when I get ready to that. So the first ones that I'm gonna do, I will, in the process obviously is gonna be the same, regardless of whether or not you're using Gorgonzola or blue cheese, is I'm gonna go ahead and add my blue cheese in here. And I do love blue cheese, but I don't want it to be overpowering. And sometimes that can happen with blue cheese, I feel. And so I just add enough. And actually, I think that the last time I made these, we're gonna go ahead and probably add some pepper jack cheese to the tops of these once we flip it over. So you start off, again, with the bacon side down, so that can get a nice crust on it and everything else. And then you'll flip it over. So that looks pretty good to me. I'm just gonna watch. You have your blue cheese down. And I'm just gonna show you a couple of these. I don't necessarily feel the need to make all these and film that for you guys. Again, the process is gonna be the same regardless of what cheese you're using. And so I'm just gonna take a huge ball. I have about 4 pounds of 80-20 here, and I want some thick ass burgers. Those guys at the restaurant cook theirs about medium rare. That's a little rare for me. Again, and I'll show you this, but when I throw them on my Blackstone, I'll actually have a really hot side to get that nice sear on it as I weight them down with a bacon press. And then I'll have a cooler side that I can flip them over and let the majority of the bacon cook, along with helping some of that middle bacon kind of render down. And so you guys can make these as thick or as thin as you want, but I'm feeding a bunch of guys over here. Tonight we're watching, oh crap, I can't think of it. It's a new Netflix World War I movie. I'll think of it here in just a second. But some guys are coming over and we're gonna enjoy some burgers and probably make like a cucumber salad or something like that, just to kind of go along with that. All Quiet on the Western Front. This just came out today. And so, and I don't add salt to this mix. I will sprinkle some salt when I go to put these on the grill. But the blue cheese and the bacon, honestly, is gonna be plenty salty enough for us. And so that looks pretty good to me. Let me go ahead and just do the other one. And this is where the open-ended burger ring or egg mold or whatever you want to call it really helps. Because one, I didn't want to buy 4 of these or 8 of these or however many just to keep making burgers. And 2, I'm actually going to throw these in the freezer just a little bit so they don't fall apart. I kind of felt like the last time I made these, they fell apart just a little bit. Not bad. I mean, just like some of the bacon came out, not all of it, and then some of the cheese came out. Yeah, these are going to be phenomenal. these are phenomenal, I should say. I really want to try and get down to Sacramento sometime to actually go to Dad's restaurant and get one of these made by the pros. So this is what you're gonna do. So again, this is why it's important to have the parchment paper as well as the egg mold or hamburger patty mold or whatever you want to call it. Hopefully this all sticks together when you go to lift this up. Perfect. And I know that that is one thick ass burger. But my God, again, I'm feeding a bunch of guys. We're watching an old World War I movie, a remake of an old World War I book, I should say, and gonna eat some fat ass burgers and, like I said, make a cucumber salad so we won't feel so bad about all the fat and the carbs. I'm gonna keep doing this. Well, I guess I'll just show you this. So again, same thing. So this is why it's important. And for the most part, they hold up pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna finish the rest of these. I need to save some burger for my kids for smash burgers because those guys absolutely love it. And I'll be back with you when I'm ready to start cooking. So I fucking forgot to film this when I threw these on, but basically, and maybe I'll do it the next time. So I have 3 of our burgers here. I have my wife's right here. That's a little bit smaller than the other ones, and as you can see, a nice crust and skirt is forming around. And I have my grilled jalapenos here. She's already dressed my bun up with that Chipotle mayonnaise and some of those homemade pickles and some red onions and some Heinz 57 underneath. I had her throw out a couple things of sliced cheddar because I'm gonna throw those on my burgers. So let me flip one of these real quick and just see how it's doing. And I apologize about that. I meant to actually film it, throwing them on. But the parchment paper helps tremendously. So I love this Blackstone for this. Like I said, my kids absolutely love the smash burgers. My youngest asks for them all the freaking time. And so as you can see, that skirt is just a melting. So what I'm gonna do is we'll flip this over here, and as you can see, that's what you're looking for right there, is that crust. That one stuck a little bit, but that's okay. There we go. Well, if I can. Whatever. Well, that's going to meld together at some point. Alright, let's see how that turns out. And beauty. So that one got a little fucked up, but it is what it is. Not everything's going to be perfect 100% of the time. And yeah. So we're super excited for these. That big one, the fucked up one, will be mine. But that's exactly what you're looking for, according to Dad's restaurant, Dad's Burger. And those look phenomenal. I'll get it dressed up here in just a second and do a cross section. Real quick, basically what I do with the burgers, and because I didn't film it throwing them on, because it's just me doing it, but yeah. Because they're on parchment paper, I flip them over and then I throw them on. And typically, like if you refrigerate them for a little bit or whatever else, everything kind of sticks together. And flip them over on the beef patty side down, and then throw them on the grill with the bacon side down, if that makes sense. Like I said, it's kind of hard to do with just me doing this and trying to camera and everything at the same time, but that, yeah, I mean, that looks delicious. And then, like I said, I grilled jalapenos. You can see the skirt. Like I said, that huge one right there kind of got fucked up a little bit, but that's okay. This is backyard cooking. So. All right, so this is what we made today. This is Dad's Burger at Dad's Restaurant in Sacramento, California. I made a cucumber salad with some red onion, some dill, some dry dill, as a matter of fact, red wine vinegar, some Olive Garden dressing, and some cayenne pepper, some coarse black ground pepper as well. Hopefully you guys can see that, but that looks phenomenal to me. I ended up adding a slice of cheddar. We have our grilled jalapenos, our fresh red onion, and our pickle there, and toasted bun. Man, that looks phenomenal to me. I can't wait to get down to Sacramento, California and go to Dad's Restaurant and actually have one of these in real life. Thank you guys for watching, and try it out.